Hello guys, Adam here from Not Toys Action Figures, bringing you another review slash unboxing of a Star Wars The Black Series figure. This week is one of my favourite figures. As you can see, I have 3 here, but we are going to be only opening 1 today, but I thought she looked very lonely up there by herself. And that figure is going to be the Ahsoka Tano Star Wars Rebels edition, I should say, not collection. And yeah, Star Wars Rebels, before we start, if you've not seen it, it is a fantastic Star Wars show. A lot of people kind of laugh it off or laugh off a lot of the animated shows that, especially more like casual fans, as being too much for kids. But you know, without the animated shows, there probably wouldn't have been a Mandalorian, and a lot of the lore now and surrounding like lore in the books and stuff is heavily tied to the Rebels show. So I highly suggest you go and see it. Whoops, as you can see, yeah. Ahsoka looks a little bit different than she does in Clone Wars. In Rebels, she's a bit older. I guess you could say she's probably in her mid-20s. Her lightsabers, you can also see inside the box, they don't look quite blue. They're more of like a grey colour, which kind of plays into the fact that she is the grey, you can't say, grey Jedi. Has kind of stepped away from the Order, but isn't, like, you know, a bad guy. On the side, we have some really nice artwork, as we always do with this edition of the Black Series. You can see Moff Tarkin and Ahsoka there. They don't quite match up because they're from 2 different series, but you know, if I had more Rebels, they would all match up with Ahsoka. Oops, sorry, Moff. And yeah, the box itself, again, I really like this kind of edged box with the artwork. This one is again kind of like it was for Darth Nihilus, just very black and boring, but this box is very nice. It has Star Wars Rebels, Ahsoka Tano. It has her artwork on the side. It has the artwork on the back with a quick synopsis. Ahsoka Tano, a Togruta female, was a Padawan learner to Anakin Skywalker and a hero of the Clone Wars. Alongside Anakin, she grew from headstrong student into mature leader, but her destiny led along a different path than the Jedi. On the top, we have a little window to see in, and on the bottom, we have all of the information that you might need to know. So then, let's get on with the review and get her out of the box. Okay, so we have Ahsoka out of the box, and she is a really, really nice figure. I like it's sometimes I don't really like them with these Clone Wars figures, like how they make them look a bit more realistic. But I think actually Ahsoka in the Rebels series itself does look a bit more like she looks more grown up and therefore less kind of angled, which I think is kind of a thing for the Clone Wars, is like they have all very angled, but this figure is absolutely stunning. Like the detail on her face, when my camera zooms in, is really high. Like the markings on her head tails look really nice. The clothing, these little buttons, the hooks for the lightsabers, which we'll look at the lightsabers in a second. Yeah, it's a really nice, and also the back, we kind of like give her a T-pose. Really nice paintwork on it. It's such a difference. This skirt is kind of like a material. Such a difference to the Darth Nihilus figure, which was also nice, but it was just a little bit, you know, black and boring. This one looks really good. So let's kind of just go over her articulation. So you can see the head tassels kind of come down to her waist, so there isn't much movement on the head. You kind of get this much to her right. You get about this much to her left, which is actually not too bad. Put her back in the middle. There is no looking up, I believe. Very little looking up, very little looking down. She does have a bit of crunch in her stomach, but other than that, she can't really move, and there's no kind of turn on her head. That's more of her ball circulation on the waist. The arms, they come up to about here. You can see on the top, she does have this bit of plastic like arm band that does just stop it from going higher than this, but I think that's kind of high enough. The articulation, she does a full 360, and yeah, she feels a lot more movable than Darth Nihilus. This arm is a bit stiffer, but if we kind of give it a spin, we can do this. If we look at her elbow, the elbow is also quite stiff, but it does get to 90. If we look at the hands also very stiff out of the box, but they do have a nice kind of pivot on them here. You can kind of move them, yeah, just up and down. You can turn them. They do a 360 on them. I don't know if you'd really want a 360 on the hand. Like, you know, no one's going to have the hand like this way. But yeah, there is some turn, and there is some... Is there some... No, there's just this one simple joint here. So yeah, so I think there's enough there to move her around in. and the arms. Then, like I said, she does seem to have quite a bit of movement on her waist. You can kind of bend it to the left a little, or her right, I guess, to the right. She does have a little bit of crunch, like tiny. It's actually not on her waist. It's here if you look. It's like on the top of her chest. So she does have a little bit of movement there, but not really as much as you might hope with Ahsoka. Ahsoka does some very aerial combat moves and looks very, or is very kind of acrobatic. So it would be you would want to do some cool poses with her. But yeah, the leg kind of comes up to about here. It goes back to about here, so it's kind of nice and flexible. You know, looks like she's doing like a one toe kind of pose on an ice rink there. Yeah, it does also have a double jointed knee bend, which is quite flexible. She can't quite kick her ass, or kick her butt, I should say, or bum, but it does get back there. On the foot, I can feel this one is on like a strange ball joint, which is kind of interesting. Like they do kind of move side to side. This one feels very flimsy. I'm very scared to move it too much. But yeah, they are very flimsy, and it doesn't seem like there's much movement to them at all. But yeah, so that is Ahsoka. Let's see if she'll just stand very easily. It looks like she's not going to, of course. Why would she when I'm trying to do it on the camera? Yeah, her feet are very, this one I think is a little bit damaged. It's very pointy. Like she wants to stand on a tiptoe all the time, which is a little bit frustrating. But we'll leave that. But yeah, let's look at the lightsaber. So she is very well known, or I guess famous, for having 2 lightsabers. She's dual bladed. You can't quite see that. Let me just move her. So she does have this very simplified looking one that does have some nice detail on it. And again, it's kind of like this blue gray color, which is very kind of unique in the Star Wars world, I think. And then she comes with this one, which is the longer lightsaber, which is, I think, from Ventress, but I'm not 100% sure because it's been a while since I watched the Clone Wars, but it has that same shape and feel. And you can see that they're both different lengths, which is kind of nice. It kind of makes her stand out against other Jedis with this shorter lightsaber and a longer one. But yeah, that has been kind of the unboxing. Let's do a few poses with her and see if we can make something cool. So here she is in her kind of famous backhanded lightsaber pose. I have to say, she's so hard to pose. Like her legs are just so thin and like dainty. Like it almost feels like she's standing on toothpicks. But yeah, the figure itself is like gorgeous. Like I can't believe how good it looks. I'm just gonna do like a slow pan. Like yeah, it looks really, really nice. It's a really pretty figure. It's just a shame that it's so hard to pose it though. Like, you know, with these figures, you'd expect them to be able to at least stand up, but just to get her to stand up by herself is really, really hard. Like maybe it's me. I also had the problem with Nihilus. He was also a bit of a pest to get to stand up properly. Like even now, he's also kind of very top heavy with his hood, and so is she with her tails. So it is hard to get them to stay stood up. But again, like really, really cool figure. You can see we have her facing off against him. They're both probably, oh no, they're still standing. And it's also kind of cool to notice that like her lightsabers look a lot thinner. Like when you look at Darth Nihilus's, compared to hers, hers are very, very thin, which is also kind of like a thing from Rebels, I think. Like it's very much, the lightsabers in that show were just incredibly thin for some reason. Like it's very stylistically, but they just look like they were needle thin. And you can see she's always falling backwards because of this big, heavy tail on the back of her head. And also these very dainty, like ballerina feet. It is very hard to get her to balance, and when she does balance, it doesn't balance for very long. But yeah, let's see if I can get her in some other poses before we wrap up the video. Okay, and I finally got her in another pose here. Here she's in quiet contemplation, you know, thinking about Anakin. And you can see on the sides here that you can take her lightsaber blades off and put them on the hilt, which I think is cool. And the blades, you know, they just have this very basic peg on them. You can't really see on the camera, but yeah. She is a really nice figure, like really nice. But like to again, to kind of pose her is quite difficult, just because like the head is so heavy, the feet are so tiny, and the legs are so tiny. It's like I said, like last time I compared it to, you know, to our to Tommy here, to the White Ranger, and he's just so easy to just put into a pose and just leave him here. Like when you compare it to any of the Star Wars ones so far, he's just so much more sturdy and just has so much more articulation. Like these Star Wars toys are a little bit tricky to get into the pose that I want. But maybe it just comes down to practice. Let me know if you also have trouble trying to pose them, because I'm having a lot of trouble. Like, you know, his arms and stuff is pretty, you know, this, and then if I try to move her arm up and then put her back down, oh, she does stand up. Okay, well, at least she stood up. I'm quite surprised about that. But yeah, that's going to do it for the video today. White Ranger and Ahsoka are going to give you a wave bye. Next time we're going to be doing the Mandalorian stuff, so I'm really looking forward to that, because yeah, Mandalorian is an amazing series, and I did fall over the White Ranger. And yeah, I've wanted to have a Mandalorian figure for a while, but this version of the Mandalorian was sold out everywhere, at least in Austria, so you just couldn't get hold of it. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the video. Sorry if it was a little bit chopped up, because I did want to do some more poses with Ahsoka, but I just think she's a little bit difficult to do it with, because she's such a cool character and just has so much cool lore. It's just a shame that the figure itself, like, it looks great, but it's definitely a pain in the bum to pose. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any feedback, do make sure you leave it in the comments. If you want to see more Star Wars unboxings and potentially what they call Power Ranger unboxings and reviews in the future, make sure you hit subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.